Hello guys, it's good to see you here. My name is Dihan. I am working at the TED English as the English instructor. Well, today what I will be doing is I will be sharing some tips that will be useful for the prospective students who are thinking of taking the TOEFL IBD test. So I will be sharing three main tips that will be useful for you. Three main tips that are concerned with the reading, listening, and speaking. So I'm going to start with the reading first. Okay, the first tip that I would like to give about reading is that never skip the skimming part in TOEFL reading. Because students usually think that in TOEFL reading they can skip the skimming part because in TOEFL, for each question, you are provided a passage that you will have to read to find the answer. So what they thought is that since they know what part of the passage they will have to look at, they don't necessarily need to do the skimming part. Well, I would say that's wrong. You should do the skimming part because if you haven't done the skimming part, you won't be able to answer the last questions of each passage. A question which asks you to choose three key main ideas for the entire passage. So if you haven't done the skimming, you will have to spend a lot of time to get the answer for that last questions, and that questions will give you not 1 mark, but it will give you 2 marks. So what I suggest is that students should always skim the entire passage, the first time they see it on their question paper. And skimming will also help you to comprehend better when you have to do the detailed reading to find the answers. Generally I would recommend all the students to do the skimming the first time they see the passage. Never skip the skimming part, although you will be provided a particular paragraph for the set of questions. Okay, so another tip that I would like to give is something that concern with listening. Okay, so in TOEFL listening, there are 2 types of question. The first one is where 2 people will be talking together. Usually the test, it imitates the situations that you might probably have to face in the real life campus, where you went to the faculty department to inquire more information about the subjects that you're going to study. Okay, so for this kind of audio, it's totally fine to listen and simultaneously answer the listening questions. But there's also another type of listening audio where you will have to listen a lecture by the lecturer. Like the topic matters can vary a lot from the social science such as history and international relations to other pure science like chemical and I would say some basic knowledge about engineering. But don't worry, all the information that they're going to talk will be spoken in a manner where even the common person can understand. So you don't have to worry about the subject that much. But of course, if the topic that they're talking about is something related with your original subject matter, you will find it easy. Okay, so the point that I would like to make here is that for those second kind of audio where the lecturer will be giving the conversation on the school subject, you need to take notes, because in those kind of audio there will be a lot of detailed questions, and if you haven't take notes, you won't be able to answer those detailed questions. So for the listening, the tip that I would like to give is when you have to listen to a lecture, always take notes while you're listening to that audio. Okay, and the final tip that I would like to give is thing that is concerned with speaking. I would say in TOEFL speaking is a bit peculiar when you compare it to other speaking tests of other standardized tests like IS and CAE, because in TOEFL speaking, you have the time limitations in the first questions, which is an independent questions. You will have like 45 seconds, and in other types of questions, which are integrated questions, you will have like a 60 seconds time limit. Oh, and the difference between independent and the integrated questions are like in independent questions, you will solely have to use your own speaking skill. Like the exam, it will show you a set of questions and you answer those. You answer that set of questions. But integrated questions are the type of questions where not only speaking skill, but you will also have to incorporate your other listening and reading skill. Okay, so yeah, talking of the integrated tasks, if you want to get a high band score for the TOEFL speaking, you have to practice a lot, like really a lot. Because unlike other type of speaking tests, here you have the time limitation, 45 seconds and the 60 seconds. And if you don't have practice of giving the enough information within the set time frame in the exam, you won't be able to do that. So the tip that I would like to give for the speaking test is practice a lot before the speaking test, and then adjust the time that you will have and the content that you would like to put into that set amount of time. Another thing is to improve your speaking skill in TOEFL, you will also have to practice in other skills like reading and listening. Oh, and another thing is to make all the informations one into the set amount of time. I would say it's also useful to use template. Like you should prepare the template that you're going to use for each type of question before the actual exam starts. Yeah, that will help you, because if you have a template in your hand, you don't have to think of the structure in the exam room. What you have to think is just the only one thing, like what sort of information that I'm going to put in that template, and that's it. If you have figured out the information that you're going to put in a template, that's it, your job is done, and you just use that template to put those informations in. Okay, so this is the end of this video, and I think these three main tips, they're really essential for the students who are going to take the TOEFL test soon. Okay guys, thank you, and I will see you soon.